Hello and welcome to my first build guide. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please leave a like. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy. Alright, to go through the gear, we're using a Tangletongue with a corruption of 13 critical damage bonus. This can go up to 14 or 15, I believe. The cheaper way to get this one is to get a double socket one with as much critical hit chance and physical damage as possible. With double socket, it would give you 24 critical damage bonus. For the helmet, we're using the Crown of Ice Coral Circlet. For this one, just try to get as much increased energy shield, extra rating, and attributes as possible. For the armor piece, we're going with as high energy shield as possible. I'm using trippelres. I have a corruption of 18 chaos resistance as well, which is not really needed. It's just a bonus, but try to get as much energy shield as possible. If you don't have that option, you can take away one of the resistances. If you don't need it, get more life or even get more energy shield. For the amulet, we're doing increased spell damage, maximum life, +3 to melee skills, increased critical damage bonus, some strength, and increased maximum energy shield. For the Wrath Pit, the only thing that is working with this Wrath Pit is the increased energy shield, the maximum life, and the non-channeling spells deal 12% increased damage per 100 maximum life, which means that these two stats here, the spells cost additional 6% of your maximum life, and the critical hit chance per 100 maximum life does not work. And the only way why this works, the increased damage, is basically because of the helmet. Increases induction to spell damage also apply to attacks. That's why this Wrath Pit works. To go at cheaper options, if you do not have the divines to get the Wrath Pit, is to get a normal focus for like one divine. If you were to get the normal focus, just try to get as much increased spell damage as possible. For the rings, we're going as much flat as possible with some resistances. If you cannot afford these rings, then any double flat or triple flat with some other stats works. Double flat works just as well. Same with this one. Trying to get as much flat damage as possible. On here, I didn't need resistance, got dexterity instead. But there's other options as well that is way cheaper. For the gloves, we do have 10% increased magnitude of bleeding. Into this one, we have trippelflat with +2 level of melee skills. We have increased critical damage bonus and some strength. We are using Ingenuity with this build. It is not needed. It just boosts your rings. If you do have really great rings, this Ingenuity is a great addition to the build. You could also run Headhunter if you want to. You could also use a normal one for managing with the resistances. So you could add some more flat damage to the rings and don't do as much resistances, and then do Ingenuity. And take away the Ingenuity here to do a normal belt with some resistances. For the boots, I have double sockets just to get some more chaos resistance and maximum life, some movement speed, increased energy shield. I do have 103 more maximum life, some int, some cold res. For my life flask and the mana flask, I use increased charges. And why you're using increased charges on both of these ones are because on your rake you're using ambrosia and concoct, which takes 20% of your flask charges and consume them to gain more damage. And then we're just using whatever charms you need. I have the immunity to freeze, and I have cannot be stunned. For the passive tree, we're using Sanguimancy, some more life. We're going for Grasping Wounds into Crimson Power together with Blood Barbs. So Blood Barbs basically does that you're bleeding, you inflict a curse. The target is aggravated, and aggravated is just basically more damage. And the elemental damage also contributes to bleeding magnitude. We do use Crimson Power here, which gains additional maximum life equal to 100% of the energy shield on equipped body armor. That's why I said earlier that we want as much energy shield as possible on the body armor, because max life gives us more damage. So we're basically stacking health on this build. In the passive tree, everything is linked in the POE2 Ninja down below, so you can look through that a bit more. But we are using the For Nothing Diamond here. to get Heartstopper, to get these points in here, save us 4 points to get something else. The main points to get as quickly as possible with this build is to get the damaging elements, these nodes down here, and these nodes up here, and these nodes here. They are critical for the build to work, and after that you can add some crit nodes, and getting these increased attack damage and getting these could be the later thing you do. But getting these down here is how the build works. So a build works with elements. Any elements or increased bleeding is basically our DPS for this bleeding build to work. We also use Spellblade here, it's basically more spell damage because spell damage works for our normal attacks because of our helmet. For our jewels, we're just going critical damage bonus, get as much increased magnitude of elements and as possible. You can get increased magnitude of elements you inflict, and you can get 20% increased magnitude of damage elements you inflict with critical hits. So you can get double elements on your jewels. So here we have one. I think I paid 140 divine for this one, or it's not this one. I think I paid 40. Just more increased spell damage, critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, and more magnitude of elements. My time lost is not that great. It will be my next upgrade, but it's just increase of small passives, so I get more critical hit chance, more critical damage bonus, and just more magnitude of elements for the notables. So here. And then for my other jewels, just critical damage bonus, critical hit chance, more magnitude, and more magnitude of elements you inflict with critical hit chance. Just stacking that as much as possible. For our support gems in our skills, we're using in life remnants, we're just using Dissipate, Magnetism, and Precision. For Health Thunder, we're using Electrocute, Neural Overload, Innervate, Lightning Infusion, and Deadly Herald. In Blasphemy, we're using Temporal Chains together with Magnified Effect. Lightning Spear, we are doing Martial Tempo, Lacerate, Volt, Longshot, and Fork. Combat Frenzy, just a normal Profusion. Rake, we're doing Momentum, Deep Cuts, Concentrated Effect, Concoct, and Ambrosia. Bloodhunt, we're doing Elemental Focus, and Invisible Critical, Overextend, Heft, and Primal Armament. Sorry. For Orb of Storms, we're doing Font of Rage, Brutality, and Overabundance. For Disengage, we're using Cadence, Shocking Leap, and Overcharge. In Final Cry, we're doing Raging Cry, End Range War Cry, Second Wind, and Ingenuity. For Orb of Storms and Infernal Cry, they can be lower levels, which will need our attribute requirements if needed. You don't have to have them especially high. It doesn't add anything to build. We're using Orb of Storms to gain Rage, which we don't need any more levels. Same with Infernal Cry. We just want the empowered attacks to gain 35 fire damage per enemies in range. Yeah, that's basically what we're using it for. We only have 100 spirit, so we're turning off Blasphemy when we do maps, and we put on Herald Thunder, and when we do bosses, we put on Blasphemy. That is the only change, just changing back and forth whenever we do bossing. You will not need to activate Blasphemy for doing map bosses. You will need Blasphemy will be huge more DPS for bosses when you do Citadels or any Tier 4 Sesh, or for instance anything of that kind. Keep in mind that my version of this build is very expensive, but you can make it work on a low budget. Down below the video I will be linking a few trade searches for the build that will make the search for items needed for the build much easier for you guys. I hope I don't forget anything. If I did, please let me know. If you have any further questions, I do stream on Twitch. Link will be down below. Thank you all and have a great day.